My name is Sacha Lord and I put festivals on for a living. When I was growing up, when I was 17, Manchester was what was referred to as Madchester. All the best music was coming out of this city. It still does. But in those days, there were bands like New Order, Happy Mondays, James, that probably many people now haven't heard of. But in those years, when I was 17, the whole of the world was looking at what was coming out of Manchester. It was a real special moment. You know, it was our music, what we were wearing, obviously our football. But that sort of set me on the path. What really interested me was the music scene. I didn't set out actually to have this career path. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was working in a clothes shop making £20 a day. And I loved the music so much, I just put a party on. The money that I made that night from that one party was what I'd earn in 2 weeks working in a clothes shop. So that's what put me on that career path. I think my biggest tool is the team around me. You know, in my industry, in hospitality, people move on so quickly from job to job to job. My GM has been with me since day one. She moved up the ranks and now she's running the show. So there is a lot of loyalty there, and the team stick with me. And you know, I'm very lucky that a lot of the team are young, and you know, they tell myself and Sam, my business partner, what music's coming through and who to look for. So I think that's probably the tool I use the most, is understanding people. I'm a people's person. Every single time I mess up, every single time I fail, and I still do now, and I still will throughout the rest of my life, you have to learn from that failure. And I think most people you speak to will say that. You know, you have to acknowledge that failure. And I've had some catastrophic failures. I remember Millennium, when everybody thought you're going to become a multimillionaire by putting a party on New Year's Eve. I cancelled it. And at the age of 28, lost £40,000, you know, and I had to sit everybody down and say, look, I've not got the money to pay you, but I'll pay you over a 12-month period, and I actually did achieve that. But that was a huge lesson for me, and not to take certain things for granted. And, you know, every single week I make the wrong decision about something. I think I'm quite fortunate that with experience, the majority are the right decisions. But yeah, you've got to learn from every single time you fail. I remember back in those days, everybody around me, because they'd had a good education, they'd gone to really good universities, and I was absolutely panicked with my life. I did not know where I was going to end up, what I was going to end up doing. And my advice to, it was 1994, 4th of July 1994, a venue called the Hacienda. That was my first party. So I was 22. So from leaving school, there was like 4 years in the wilderness of working in clothes shops. Absolute despair. Didn't know where my life was going at all. Had no qualifications. My advice to that young Sacha at 22, because I was still panicking for many years, you know, I'm putting parties on, you know, what am I going to do for the rest of my life, is if you have a real passion for something, then just follow that passion, because you know, you can succeed in whatever you want to do in life, whatever.